What's up, Knicks fans? Welcome to another edition of Knicks Latest. It is playoff time. We are here. We have arrived. It is time to get busy if you're a Knicks fan. But first, what I want you to do is make sure you subscribe to this channel. Make sure you leave a comment on this video. I want to get your comments. I want to display them during the show. I want to make a segment with your comments. I want you just a part of this show as I am. You are important to this show. This is an interactive show at its best, at its peak. In my mind, what it's going to be is interactive. It's not just going to be me coming here 10 minutes and just spewing nonsense. It's going to be you and I having discussions about our favorite basketball team, the New York Knicks. So make sure that you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you comment on the video as well. Give me your take for this series. Do you think the Knicks win this series? Are you worried about this series? How long does this series go? What is the key takeaway that you have from this series? Who are your X factors? Let me know in the comments below, and you could always follow me everywhere on social media at Josh_Rodriguez_. Shoot me a DM. Let me know you watched Knicks Latest. Message me, at me. Let me know you watched Knicks Latest with the take. I will put your take on our next show, and we will discuss it together. But let's get down to business. Knicks Pistons, there's a lot to talk about. The Knicks, the 3 seed, the Pistons, the 6 seed. See a lot of Knicks fans kind of worried about this matchup. Pistons fans are confident in this matchup. They think that they could get the best of the New York Knicks. And my analysis really comes down to how are the Knicks going to stop Cade Cunningham? What does that look like? Who gets put on Cade Cunningham? Does Tibbs go with Mikal Bridges? What are the benefits there, right? Well, let's talk about that. Mikal Bridges is better, with smaller guards, faster guards, moving over screens of that nature with those type of guards. That's why I think OG Anunoby should start on Cade Cunningham. Immediately get that size on him. Immediately get somebody who can get physical right back with Cade, because Cade can get physical with other opposing guards. He can bully guards in the post. He can bully guards in the paint. He can use his shoulder. He can drive through smaller, skinnier, lankier guards such as Mikal Bridges. I feel most comfortable with OG Anunoby starting on Cade Cunningham. Now, if you're the Pistons, there are so many different things you can do with the pick and roll, right? So you can, even though OG's guarding him, that doesn't mean you can't get OG off of him. You can, if the Knicks are switching, you can find Jalen Brunson's man and just run a pick and roll there and have him switch. If they're in drop, okay, OG's guarding me, but I'm going to use this pick and roll to get Cat into drop coverage. Let's see if OG, can get around an Isaiah Stewart screen or a Jalen Duren screen. How is he going to do that, right? There's different ways, if you're the Pistons, that you can get around OG Anunoby just on Cade Cunningham. However, I do think the ball pressure that OG can put on Cade, the length that OG can put on Cade, will still make a difference in these type of situations. And I do think that Tibbs is not just going to let Jalen Brunson switch on to a Cade Cunningham, or Cade Cunningham going to switch on a Karl Anthony Towns. I think Tibbs, I trust him to run schemes that are going to be beneficial to having OG Anunoby guard Cade Cunningham or put pressure on Cade Cunningham as much as possible. To me, that is the key matchup in the series. Whoever Tibbs puts on Cade Cunningham, and I would also assume that he might throw different looks out there, right? Maybe you do get Mikal Bridges on there for a little bit. OG Anunoby can't play 40-something minutes, 48 minutes. I mean, you never know. It's Tibbs. Maybe he does. But, throw Mikal Bridges on there. Get somebody who's quicker, lankier. Mikal Bridges is long as well, so maybe his length can bother him as well. Maybe you get a Josh Hart who's a little more aggressive, who's a little more hyperactive, who's a little more on the ball. There are different looks the Knicks can give Cade, but I truly do believe that Cade is the head of the snake. If you can just turn that off, if you can just cut that head off, it's a wrap. I don't know how the Pistons are going to be able to keep up scoring the basketball with the New York Knicks, because on the opposite end, I genuinely don't know how the Pistons slow down the Knicks for 7 games. I can see the Knicks going cold from 3 in a game. I could see maybe Jalen Brunson struggling a little bit with his conditioning and not having the best series. But you still got to guard Cat on the perimeter. They don't have the players to do so. The Isaiah Stewarts of the world, they might be able to beat them up inside, but they can't hang with Cat on the perimeter. You still got to guard OG Anunoby. You still got to guard Mikal Bridges. So for me, I'm not worried about the Knicks offense in this series. What I'm worried about is who is going to stop, how are we going to stop, and what is going to stop Cade Cunningham. And whatever adjustments that JB Bickerstaff makes, if we do start to stop him, what is Tibbs going to do to counter? The Knicks don't really go too much zone. I would like to see maybe Tibbs switch it up here and there, even though the Pistons are a good shooting team. Throw a wrench at him. Let's throw some different coverages at him. But at the end of the day, no one else on the Pistons scares me. Tobias Harris doesn't scare me. I don't think Tobias Harris is going to win the Pistons a 7-game series against the New York Knicks. Malik Beasley doesn't scare me. None of these guys scare me. The only way they scare me is if Cade Cunningham is doing his thing in the pick and roll and creating chaos. OG Anunoby's the answer there. On-ball pressure, OG Anunoby. Whoever's guarding Asur Thompson, I would say Josh Hart. Have him roaming, creating chaos in help situations. I think that's the way you shut down this Pistons team. And in the playoffs, a lot of it is problem solving, right? Can you solve this problem right now? And if you can't, you're going to lose. To me, the Pistons can't create more problems than Cade Cunningham off the pick and roll or Cade Cunningham slicing your defense up. The Knicks can create a whole bunch of problems. You can create a Jalen Brunson problem. You can create a Karl-Anthony Towns problem. You can create a Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns pick and pop, pick and roll problem. You can create an OG Anunoby problem on that end. Every problem that the Pistons can create, for the most part, with the exception of maybe Tim Hardaway Jr. just going off for 7 threes and getting hot, or Dennis Schroeder coming off the bench and maybe going ISO here and there, most of the problems and the big problem that the Pistons create come from Cade Cunningham. And to me, that is what I'm looking for. Want to give you my X factor in this series. That X factor is Josh Hart. If the Knicks can get the Josh Hart that we vouched for to play in the All-Star game, this series is going to be short. I'm here to tell Knicks fans, don't overthink this. The Knicks are a 50-win team. This is coming from a fan who doesn't think they're better than the Celtics, doesn't think they're better than the Cavs, and whose tone is probably going to change in the next round when it comes to the series. But don't get it twisted. They're the 3 seed. They won 50 games despite not being able to beat the better teams, which means they won a lot of other games. They're a better team. If Josh Hart can show up in the way where he's distributing the basketball, he's causing havoc on the defensive end, he's getting offensive rebounds, which is going to be huge in this series, and giving the Knicks extra possessions, again, I don't see a way how the Pistons muster up 4 wins in 2 weeks against this New York Knicks team. The Knicks are just way more talented. But if we get the Josh Hart who's turning the ball over, not shooting the open 3, letting defenses play 5-on-4 in the half court, then it becomes a problem. Then it becomes a little scary. It's like, okay, we have a problem here. What are we going to do on the offensive end? But I don't think that's the Josh Hart we're going to get. Josh Hart is a playoff riser. His whole career, even in college, he plays better in these moments. He rises to the occasion. There are no doubts in my mind that we're going to get the Josh Hart that is the heart and soul of this New York Knicks team, the Josh Hart that we've grown to love, the triple-double threat every night for most nights in this series and throughout the playoffs. I'm super, super, super confident in that. I'm going to give you my prediction. I know the game starts Saturday. The first game is Saturday. I'll probably go over it more tomorrow, but I got the Knicks in 5 here. I genuinely, and this isn't like a delusional Knicks fan take. I know y'all don't really know much of my content. We've only had a few episodes up here. I do host another podcast called The Dime with Josh and Quab. If you want to go check that out, it's more of an NBA podcast. But check out my Knicks content. I'm not rah-rah, pom-pom waving, everything the Knicks do is good type Knicks fan. But I don't believe that this Pistons team is on the same level as the New York Knicks. I don't think they're on the same level talent-wise. I don't think they're on the same level defensively when the Knicks are at the peak defensively. I don't think the Pistons are bad defensively. But I just can't see, unless there's a total collapse, and then we're having a different conversation about what to do in the offseason. But unless there's a total collapse in trust, in chemistry, in cohesion, in trust in Thibodeau, I can't see this Pistons team beating the Knicks in 7 games. I got the Knicks in 5. I think they're clearly the better team. And it would shock me if this goes 7. It wouldn't shock me if it goes 6. The Knicks have been known to kind of give up a fluky game here or there this season. But I'm going to go with 5 with confidence. Knicks win 2 in New York, split Detroit, finish it back off, Game 5 in the Garden next week. So let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know what you got in this series. Do you have the Knicks in how many games? Who's your X factor? Who would you put on Cade Cunningham? What kind of pick and roll coverages would you run? Are you in a drop with Cat? Are you switching everything? Are you blitzing Cade? For me, I would love to see the Knicks go old school and hedge and recover. That's just me personally. They don't really do much of that. They do a lot of drop, with Cat, which drives me crazy, but we'll see what Tibbs does and adjusts to it. I do expect to have Cade to have a good series. I don't think he's, going to be shut down by this defense by any means, but, if we kind of just turn that faucet off, I think the Knicks got this. All right. I'll catch you tomorrow for another episode of Knicks Latest. Peace.